Hello fellow airplane collectors, welcome back to another video. It's your host Ray. Today we've got the United Express Bombardier CRJ-200 in 1/400 scale made by Gemini Jets. This model was released in March of 2021 and it just got to me today, and I'll say this, I'm very excited to make this video. There's a lot I'd like to cover, so let's jump right into it. First I'll go over the box, then the model itself. So let's start. Let me move this thing out of the way. Yeah, that did not sound good. Alright, so here's the front, here's the bottom, here's the right side, left side, top, and the back. Feel free to take a moment to read the information back here. It's just a ton of their false guarantees and their social medias and stuff, so if you want to read this, go for it, pause the video, but I'm not going to hold this here for too long. Here you can see that you can actually see the model inside of the box. So there's two pieces of plastic that the model is sitting in. First is this dark blue one that's at the bottom, then the clear one at the top. And you can also see there's a little plastic sheet, or not plastic sheet, but this stuff, whatever it is, that sits on top of the model to protect it. And most of the time this is adequate enough to keep the model together, but sometimes the models do arrive broken and damaged to people's doors. Not in this case. This one arrived just fine. Here you can see the information under the flap here. It's basically information about the history of the airplane, as well as specific information for this specific airplane. So if you want to read this, go for it. Pause the video, and if you're having trouble reading it, then screenshot it and then zoom into it on your device. But yeah, I'm not going to hold this here too long either. So yeah, that's the box. Pretty cool. I'm not sure if I mentioned this earlier, but this is the smaller Gemini Jets box. So it's 10.5 centimeters long, 10.5 centimeters tall, and 4 centimeters wide. So it is quite small. And here is the model. So I'll give you guys a quick 360 of the model, then I'll talk about its size and everything, and then all of the details. So just sit here and enjoy this. And I finally got a correct or a proper turntable, so I don't have to put my fingers in the way. If you want to skip ahead of this, then feel free to do so. If you hear weird noises, that would actually be the turntable. It's solar powered or light powered, and it has a little motor in there, and sometimes I have to give it a little push, and the motor does a little bit of resistance, and it makes some noise. So, yeah. Alright, so that was a 360. In terms of size, this thing is 6.9 centimeters long, has a wingspan of 5.5 centimeters, and it's 1.9 centimeters tall, so it is quite small. And if you don't measure in centimeters, then make your calculations and conversions so you measure with the unit you prefer. Before I begin the in-depth analysis, I'm going to apologize for the reduced quality due to the fact that I have to zoom in to the model a lot with my phone, because this model is really small. So yeah, my camera has trouble focusing on certain things. So I'm going to do the best I can, but just please note it might not be enough. So starting up with the front of the aircraft, the cockpit looks fine. A ton of details here. It's very highly detailed. Overall looks really good. There's a few paint chips here and there on the cockpit windows, and you can see some of those, which that's kind of irritating to me, but honestly I don't care too much either. They're very small and they're very hard to see with the naked eye, so that's kind of forgivable. Moving on to the rest of the fuselage, this is quite small. You can see all the windows. United titles look okay. Very detailed up here, lots of printed on details, which look absolutely stunning. Those look really cool. Moving up to the wing, wing looks cool. Not much detail on here. You can see there's a little issue with the paint back here, so that's kind of annoying. Recently that's been happening on a lot of Gemini Jets models, or at least some of mine, so yeah. Here's the winglet. Looks almost like a Dorito. Not very good, I'll say that. I kind of don't like the winglet, but again, it's a very small model, so I can cut some slack too. And I believe there's a light on there. Yeah, you can see there's a little bit of red, or an attempt at shading it red. Moving towards the back of the aircraft, here are the engines. Engines look okay in terms of detail. Very detailed inside of the engines, though. You can see the whole spinner and the fan blades, which I really appreciate. I do like the fan details. Moving back here, things get a little ugly from what it seems. Yeah, you can see it doesn't look too good back there. There's a few issues with the paint. And moving up here, don't see anything out of the ordinary. There's this little paint scratch. That doesn't look too good. Here's the tail. I don't see any sort of weird transition from the almost black to a lightish blue here, which I'm not sure if that's present on the real airplane. I don't think it is. But for those of you who like that, that's not present on this airplane, so just beware of that. Stabilizers back here look good overall in terms of wing flex and stuff, so just take a moment to look at that. Everything looks good. Back here, the rear portion of the airplane looks very good as well. Here's the other side of the aircraft. It's basically identical to the left side, so take a moment to look at it if you want. Looks cool. Something I did want to point out, a paint issue that I did encounter with the right wingtip. You can see here there's a little paint scratch, and I can barely see the green from the green light that's here, so I think something happened during production. So just beware, the quality control on these models isn't very good, so there's a chance you'll receive some sort of issue like that. Here's the bottom of the airplane. There's barely any detail here. That's not a complaint, it's just something I feel like pointing out. No one's going to be looking at the bottom here anyway, too much anyway, so I guess I can forgive that. Now the landing gear is a bit irritating. The landing gear does not look good by any means. It's not as bad as other models, but I mean, look at this. It kind of looks like, I mean, it's just a black dot on the actual wheels, and that's not that big of an issue for me because I can just paint the wheels to like be correct, but this shouldn't happen. According to the box, the models are as real as they get, and this clearly is not as real as it gets, so just be careful about that. Just note that the landing gear isn't very good quality, so you're gonna have to do some painting if you do want the landing gear to look semi-decent. Back here, the landing gear look okay, they don't roll, and you can see the wheels are kind of tilted a little bit, so that's also something I didn't appreciate too much. So that's basically it. I know this is definitely a shorter review than usual, but here's my personal opinion. Overall, it's a decent model. It's not the best, not exactly the worst, but there's still a few aspects of it that are kind of annoying. Overall, I mean, I guess it's worth the buy. I wouldn't buy it for more than $40 US. It's a cool model, sure, I'll recommend it, but just beware of the issues I mentioned during the video. That's basically it for all I have to say, and yeah, we're basically done. Share this with your friends who might like this, subscribe to the channel to show some support, and drop a like down below if you want to. Comment what you thought, any suggestions or improvements I can make to my reviews. And that's basically it. Thank you so much for watching. Stay tuned for more airplane content, and I'll see you guys in my next video.